APC didn't use complete data on Bvas server report to sack Adeleke, ex-Inec director says. Wow. So what data did APC use then? Where did they get the information they used in the court? And how come the court did not do thorough investigation? They adopted the data and then used it to implement a judgment immediately. This is funny. All right, this is funny. And all of this are coming out because of this court case, the people are casting doubt on the use of the Bvas during the forthcoming election. And so for the INEC to maintain the credibility of the Bvas, they have to come up with some reports. And that shows that this court judgment may not really stand. Let's see. A former official of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Oluwole Osaze Uzi, has provided clarifications on the discrepancy related to the bimodal voter accreditation system following the tribunal judgment in Osun State. Recall that the tribunal on Friday sacked the state governor Adeleke and ordered INEC to present a certificate of return to the All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate Gboyega Oyetola. Osaze Uzi, in an interview on Channels TV on Monday, said there should not have been a discrepancy in the July 16, 2022 governorship election. He claimed that APC obtained a certified copy of the initial server report before some of the data were being transmitted by the Bvas hardware. He, however, pointed out that the verdict was not a unanimous judgment. The former INEC official said the second tribunal member, the Honorable Justice, who dissented from his two colleagues, said, "I would rather use the primary source of this information, and the primary source of this data is actually the machine itself. It is basically a computer. So rather than go to the server where it transmitted data, I would use the printout from the machine itself. The machines were tendered, so were the reports from the server, and there ought not to be a discrepancy. But somewhere along the line, not all the data had been transmitted at the time the APC obtained the certified copy of the initial server report." Osaze Uzi, however, described the judgment as a validation of the role Bvas has played in enhancing the electoral process. He encouraged stakeholders to take a more optimistic outlook, arguing that Bvas exposed the overvoting in the election. Can you imagine? So what is he trying to say here? So there was actually overvoting. That's what it means. Osaze Uzi stated it was Bvas that exposed that, as it were, and the fact that the Bvas report was relied on. But we have to be careful. Which of the BS reports was relied on? Was it what was transmitted to the server or to the back end, or was it Bvas itself? According to him, there is a need to break down the verdict of the tribunal. That is true. He said that the majority of the tribunal, the chairman and the second member, relied on the initial report and the initial report of the back end duly certified by INEC. He added it was downloaded from the server after it was transmitted, but a couple of days later, INEC issued the word synchronized. I am not too sure I like that word, but you synchronize it and say, have all the results been transmitted? Has all data been transmitted from the machines, Bvas itself, to the server? The machine is a physical one, and then it transmits to a physical one. It now went checked and said, there is a problem here. The Bvas report now downloaded itself. We now brought it out and examined each Bvas machine and now found out that no, some data was not transmitted to the server. Can you imagine? So meaning that INEC issued two certificates or two separate results. First was the initial transmission from the Bvas machine to the computers at the back end, at the server. And then after some days, some more results came in, and they called it synchronized data, and then issued another one. Is that what they're telling us? INEC was also part of this judgment in Osun State. Why did they not bring out all this argument then? All right. Why did they not bring all this argument at that time? So why are we saying this now? Why are we saying this now? So judgment has taken place. The truth of the matter is that both INEC and the Bvas are not to be trusted at this moment. The doubt that has been casted on both INEC and the use of the Bvas is still at large unresolved and may be difficult to be resolved, because this is why some senior political figures have the confidence that the system will not work, and then they will do what they have to do manually and they will use it to cheat. That is why at the beginning, APC chairman and all the candidates came out to say that, especially the national APC chairman, that Nigeria is not matured to use BVS because of network issues and the remote locations where there are no networks. How would the BVS be used? And then it also came out of their plans to go at the back end and influence the ICT staff to influence the result at the back end of the server before it is published. So all of these allegations came up at the early stage of this campaign period. Unfortunately, INEC came out to debunk all of that to say that everything will work fine. Now, BVS was used in Ekiti State, and they applauded it. Now they used it in Osun State. It was initially applauded. Now with this court case finishing in Osun State, now people are no longer trusting the BVS again. People are no longer trusting INEC again. People are no longer trusting the users of the BVS as well. So it means that this is not going to be as effective as expected from the beginning. It is quite unfortunate if it goes this way. It means that APC and other political individuals who are interested in probably using the back end will be working hard to make sure that they sustain this narrative that BVAS is not to be trusted and it's not reliable. And it means that the entire electoral process will also not be trusted, because the truth is that some people are already looking at how to influence the INEC staff, the local staff at the polling unit, to see how they can use them, knowing fully well that if they go to a higher level, they might receive a backlash and then be exposed. They will look for all the INEC ground staff at all the polling units in all the wards to influence them to do what they have to do on the BVS machine, so that they will say everything was transmitted from the local polling unit and the words back to INEC server at the back end. Now, wow, Nigeria, they always look for a way to bypass issues. So now that this judgment has been passed on Adeleke, what is going to be the fate of INEC? What is going to be the fate of the BVS machine during the forthcoming election? All right. Even though INEC is still closing their eyes and closing their heart to tell the world that the BVS machine is reliable and will still be used, a lot of people are still doubting its effectiveness during the election period. Where this is what has come from Osaze Uzi, a former INEC official, talking about how the data for the judgment at Osun State against Adeleke was obtained and was interpreted, and all of that as well. But the question is, should we continue to trust the BVS machine? That question, even though INEC comes out to say yes, we are yet to accept and believe it, hook, line, and sinker. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment.